Have you ever wondered where Napoleon got his intelligence to win battles? Who was behind the fall of the long-reigning Ottoman Empire? Find out in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more intriguing videos like this, and be sure to watch this video to the end. Without further ado, let's dive into it. The Great Turkish War's Battle of Zenta, also known as the Battle of Zenta, took place on September 11, 1697, between Ottoman and Holy League soldiers close to Zenta, Ottoman Empire, modern-day Zenta, Serbia. The Ottomans were soundly defeated in the war's pivotal confrontation by an imperial force that Emperor Leopold I had dispatched, which was just half as large. With Austria and her allies seizing more Ottoman territory after the Battle of Vienna in 1683, it appeared that a turning point in the Ottoman-Habsburg wars had been reached. The Habsburgs had taken control of Belgrade and the majority of the Pannonian Plain by 1688. The success was short-lived, though, as the Ottoman army needed to be reorganized and given fresh life as more troops were needed for the battle with France. After the Habsburg army failed in the second siege of Belgrade in 1690, the Ottomans retook Belgrade, and the campaign that followed was largely indecisive. At the ensuing battles of Lugos, Ulas, and Sene, the Ottoman army led by Sultan Mustafa II triumphed 3 times in a row while the Venetians suffered the loss of Chios. Mustafa set out on his third voyage on April 18, 1697, intending to launch a major invasion of Hungary. With a force of 100,000 troops, he left Edir. On August 11, after arriving in Belgrade late in the summer, the Sultan assumed personal charge. The following day, Mustafa assembled a war council. The Ottomans departed Belgrade for Szeged on August 18. On July 5, Prince Eugene of Savoy, a young French prince who had shown considerable combat prowess, was chosen by Emperor Leopold to serve as commander-in-chief in the freshly seized Pannonian Plain of Hungary. He had 70,000 troops in his army, of whom about 35,000 were prepared for war. Eugene had to borrow money because the war fund was empty to pay employees and establish a functional medical service. He asked that supplies of food, ammunition, and gear be increased to meet the needs of a 50,000-man army. After learning that the Sultan and his army had left Belgrade, Eugene decided to assemble all of his available forces from Upper Hungary and Transylvania and march them against their wills towards Petrovaradin, a city on the Danube upriver from Belgrade. While he labored to rebuild the rest of the army to face the Turks, Prince Eugene dispatched some troops to Hegyalj in the north to deal with Hungarian rebels. After the concentration was finished, about 50,000 soldiers were left in Eugene's army to take against the Ottomans. German, Austrian, Hungarian, and Serbian infantry and cavalry forces made up the Habsburg army. 12,000 soldiers from the Palatine Paul Esterhazy of the Habsburg Kingdom of Hungary joined Eugene's force, along with 10,000 soldiers from the Serbian militia. Most of them were cavalry and were commanded by Jovan Popovi Tekolija. The coalition included Serb conscripts, most notably Vice Voivode Jovan Monasterlija and his 700 cavalry and 1,000 infantry soldiers. Mustafa went toward Transylvania in defiance of the Belgrade warden Amkas Aid Husayn Pasha's suggestion to assault Petrovaradin, which was ruled by the Habsburgs and was situated on the Danube River to the northwest of Belgrade. Imre Thakali led the Hungarian Kuruk cavalry that the Ottoman army relied on, but many former Kuruk insurgents had also joined the Holy League in the demand for a crusade. After crossing the Danube, the Sultan and his army moved westward to seize Tittel Castle at the Tisa and Danube's confluence. The Ottomans destroyed the castle after discovering it was empty of a garrison. On September 11th, they traveled north along the right bank of the Tisa until they arrived close to the Zenta settlement. Before Transylvania, the river Tisa served as the final significant water barrier. From Petrovaradin, Prince Eugene marched the imperial army south. He then crossed the Tisa River and moved upriver along the east bank. The Ottomans were unaware of the enemy's location. The imperial army wasn't aware that the Ottoman army was nearby when it started to cross the Tisa River on September 11. Captain Jovan Popovi Tekolija, leader of the Serbian militia, promptly alerted Prince Eugene about the Turks' movements, and an Ottoman pasha who had been seized was compelled to confirm the information. The imperial force was then led by Tekolija through bogs and wetlands to the back of the Turkish camp. Eugene decided to proceed with his plan despite receiving orders from the emperor to act with extreme caution and avoid a general engagement from a courier who had just arrived from Vienna. Eugene did not want to allow the Turks to cross the river at night, so he ignored the courier's orders. The Ottoman forces were still in the process of crossing the river when the Habsburg army arrived 2 hours before nightfall after a 10-hour arduous march, shocking them because they did not anticipate the Christian army could arrive so rapidly. while the majority of the troops were still with the Grand Vizier on the other river. Sultan Mustafa, his baggage, and the artillery were on the Temesvar bank. The entire Habsburg force launched an all-out attack from the rear, charging in a crescent-shaped movement against the Ottomans' defensive position as the light started to fade, with cavalry on either side and the infantry in the center. The Ottoman left was trapped against the river by the left flank of the Imperial Army, which was under the command of General Guido Starhemberg. General Sigbert Heister was in charge of the army's right wing. At the same time, Imperial troops under the command of Charles Thomas de Vaudemont launched a frontal assault and, after engaging in close combat, managed to breach the fortifications enclosing the Ottoman camp. Imre Thakali, a Hungarian who also provided the Sultan with some more Kuruk troops, was in charge of the Turkish cavalry. General Starhemberg's Imperial Dragoon dismounted and advanced to the moat, encircling and attacking the Ottoman camp, quickly breaking through the Turkish line of defense. Behind the entrenchments, the Ottoman troops fled in disorder to the bridge, which was now crowded, under fire, and about to collapse. The imprisoned Ottoman soldiers were thrown into disarray, and thousands of them fell into the river. Ottoman survivors who attempted to flee were utterly destroyed by Austrian firepower. The Sultan stood on the opposite side and watched helplessly until he decided to withdraw his army and order the last of his soldiers to hold the bridge. Without pausing along the road, Mustafa set out for Temesvar while being escorted by a cavalry force and joined by his teacher and master Sheikhul Islam Faisal Effendi. He just brought what the horses could carry. The Sultan had left behind him 87 artillery, 9,000 baggage carts, 6,000 camels, and 15,000 oxen when the Habsburg army arrived at the far side. The Ottoman state seal of Grand Sultan Mustafa II was also discovered by the Austrians, which had never before been taken by an enemy. The treasure chest included 3 million piasters. Mustafa, son of Maimed Hand, always victorious, and the year of his accession to the throne, 1106 of the Hejra, were written on the seal. Prince Eugene personally gave the emperor the items taken during the Battle of Zenta after the victory. A total of 30,000 Turks perished, many of them top military and political officials. The Grand Vizier was killed on the battlefield by rebellious Janissaries. In comparison, only 429 Holy League members lost their lives. The Imperial Army's tactical advantage and the Austrians' significantly improved cannon technology, in contrast to the Ottomans, were two factors that contributed to the significant gap in casualties. Austria triumphed spectacularly in the conflict. Austrians had unlimited freedom of action in Ottoman Bosnia as a result of the dispersion of the main Ottoman force. Sarajevo was taken on October 22 when Eugene led an attack with 6,000 cavalry, including the Serbian militia of the Sava. The Turks then pillaged and set fire to the city after killing the emissaries dispatched to ask the Serbs to surrender. The Battle of Zenta, which ended a 14-year conflict, served as the impetus for peace. Within months, peace talks between the two sides were initiated in Esremski Karlovci under the direction of William Paget, the English ambassador to Constantinople. According to the stipulations of the Treaty of Karlovitz, which was signed on January 26, 1699, close to Belgrade, Austria was granted power over Transylvania, Croatia, Slavonia, and Hungary. The restored regions were divided up into various units within the Habsburg Empire, such as the Principality of Transylvania and the military frontier, with the remainder being reintegrated into the Kingdom of Hungary. The Sava became the northernmost limit of the Ottoman Empire. The Turks held Belgrade in Serbia, and Bosnia became a border province. The triumph finally marked the end of Ottoman rule in Europe and the formal retreat of the Turks from Hungary. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to watch more videos like this. While you're here, click one of the two other videos on your screen to watch. See you later.